All right. Mic check. I'm good. So I'm Max Duran. CWB Association Welding podcast. Podcast. Today we have a really cool guest. Welding podcast.
The show is about to begin.
Hello and welcome to another edition of the CWB Association podcast. My name is Max Duran, and in our fantastic coordination and collaboration with Skills Canada, we are now working with the fantastic group of the NAC at Skills. Today, I have Robbie McMahon here, who is an automotion and control specialist, and we're going to be talking about what that is, what it means, and how it works.
Okay.
Hey, Robbie.
Yeah. How you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing good. Yourself?
Good. Great.
We're both tired. We're both like at the end of the day. We're like, oh my God.
Yeah, lots of steps.
So what have you been doing today? Tell me about your day today at Skills.
Well, we've been doing a lot of working with the soaring group of students that are here.
Story skills, yeah.
Yeah. So and we're put us in groups, and we'd all run around together and do a big bunch of quizzes.
Oh,
Run around, find QR codes, answer skills for success questions.
it sounds like it was kind of hard.
It was tiring. Running around and trying to keep track of everything, everybody.
And then, when did you get in? Did you get in Tuesday or Monday?
Jeez, I remember. I got in Tuesday.
Tuesday.
My flight was delayed a few hours, but
And you're coming in from PEI, right?
yeah, always.
Flying is tough out of the smaller maritime provinces, but well, are you born and bred
Yes.
PEI?
Yep.
A local right from start?
Right from Charlottetown. Yeah.
Awesome. So let's talk about your gig as an automation and control specialist.
Mhm.
Automation and control specialist. What does that mean? For the person who's never heard of it, explain what that trade is.
So it's a mix between like automatic motion and control and electrical work.
Mhm.
So I try to think of it as a car wash. If you're going into an automatic car wash, that's the sensors work and stops your car, it puts you on tracks, and then all the water starts spraying automatically and everything
And
kind of just works.
There's sensors there to make sure it doesn't ram into your car.
There's a ton of sensors. And a ton of, I can't think of it a great way, but solenoids,
Yeah.
valves that work automatically in conjunction with a programmed logic controller, the PLC,
hmm
and that's like the brain of the whole system is that controller, and it works with electrical to automatically.
So when you look at what it is between the PLC, the wiring, all the motors or actuators or whatever it's going to be
Yeah.
that does the motions, and the sensors that feed that information in for make those decisions, do you also have to know how to build the frames and the framework and the mounting hardware and the wiring? It sounds like it's kind of a little bit of a lot of trades.
It's a little bit of a lot, yeah. It is.
Yeah.
You got to know how to mount things with. You're
Mhm.
using drills and hand tools all the time, and the computer work is just the behind the scenes part where the logics of it. There's going to be thousands of lines of logic to a program,
Mhm.
which they were doing here today.
And what's the language that's used?
There's many different kinds of languages, just like there is in speech. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, there's ladder is a common one, or structured text.
Those are the two main competing ones.
Yeah, pretty much.
See, I'm old. When I was young, we'd work with PLCs. It'd be like Pascal,
Oh yeah,
C.
C#.
Yeah, it was and those are when I'm very blessed that when I learned those languages way back, it's like I learned the OG languages.
Yeah.
Because now all the new languages are easier. They're more intuitive. They got better, interfaces.
Yeah, they're
The-
user friendly.
Yeah, exactly. Those old ones were brutal. You'd be 600 lines in and you'd make a mistake and you'd have to delete all 600 lines. That is just painful to type
Yeah.
something all out and then not have it run and be have to comb through it for one mistake. It is just,
And trying to find it. Yeah.
and then try to find it. Yeah.
Yeah.
It hurts.
Today's programming is so easy. It'll redline anything that's an error.
Yeah. It'll just highlight it and
Yeah.
say, yeah, not there.
Doesn't exist.
So how'd you get into this? What made you want to even think about doing this kind of stuff?
I can't even tell you.
Just woke up with a PLC in your hand in the morning, being like, "Hey, my door opens by
It was
itself now."
under my pillow. Yeah. But yeah, I got into electrical because of my cousin who also competed in automation and control.
Okay.
It wasn't called industrial control 6 years ago.
Okay.
So yeah, it changed the name to industrial control. But he competed in 2007 in Saskatoon, I believe, and he got gold. And I was like, ooh, I want one of those too.
Oh yeah, yeah. But did you know much about what it was?
Not really, no, didn't. And I took the 2-year course in Charlottetown and Summerside PEI for industrial electrical,
Yeah.
and it kind of taught you a bit of it, and then you had to kind of take it from yourself and
There's
learn
no
it.
like official course for this, is
No,
there?
well, it's getting close. It's getting
Yeah.
way better. Before it wasn't. You'd have to kind of learn it yourself.
Just piece it together between electrical and then buying the hardware and figuring it out pretty
Yeah.
much. Yeah.
Pretty much a lot of kind of robotic style
Yeah.
control,
Turbos.
servo
Yeah.
motors and VFDs. Yeah,
That's fun. That sounds like a fun hobby.
it is pretty fun to do.
Yeah. So what was like the first projects, like, as a kid when you're, you said you had a cousin, was it a cousin?
Yep.
That was into it and you're young and you're looking at this being like, this is cool. How did you start dipping your fingers into this? Or did you not touch it or really know anything about it till you went to college?
I didn't know anything about it until I went to college.
Yeah.
I knew he won in a certain trade. And then when I took the 2-year course that he took, I kind of fumbled into it. Oh, this was like what he did. And then I tried to take it off from there.
Yeah. And at what point did skills sort of kind of enter the conversation in terms of, hey, you're kind of good at this. Have you thought about competing?
Yeah, that's basically how they asked me. There was only, I think, 3 of us competing in PEI that year I tried it. I was like, yeah, sure, why not? Give it a shot. And then there was the 2 guys I was competing with were kind of trash talking in a way where like, like Robbie, don't try this. You're not going to
You
be good
never
at
make
it.
it. Yeah.
And then there was the fire
Yeah.
behind me. Yeah.
So you got a competitive spirit?
Yeah, kind of.
I don't think you could do this, the whole skills journey, if you don't
No. you
have
can't.
some type of competitive spirit.
And yeah, you drive
Yeah,
and will,
ambition. Yeah.
ambition. Yeah.
So you're going through the college. They tell you to sign up for this skills thing, but you told me that it's not a really clearly taught thing. So then you reach out to Skills PEI and say, "Hey, I want to enter into this," and they say, "Okay, this is what you have to do." How much of that did you know, and how much of it did you have to like fake it till you make it?
I did a lot of practicing. I had a lot of free time in that second year of college. So I got to play around with it while the other guys kind of played with the mechatronics, which is another trade here. So I kind of was isolated to myself, which helped. I got to be the only one playing with it. So
you had all the time in the world.
pretty much at least a month just playing around and practicing. Yeah.
And how'd you do? You went to 2017. Where was that?
Yeah, I felt
You're in
confident.
Winnipeg,
That was
right?
here in Winnipeg, yeah.
And how'd you do? How'd you place?
I think I came 4th. But
Close.
very critical error that I made.
So talk to us about that journey. First of all, coming from your provincials in PI, which is 3, and coming to Winnipeg to skills, which is massive.
Yeah.
How did that feel?
That was incredible. Being like, holy God, this is big.
It's a big deal, right?
Yeah.
And then you come into the competition. How many competitors is there?
I think there was 10 that year, 10 or 9.
Yeah. So that's
Yeah.
already quite a bit more. You've tripled the amount of competition.
Yeah.
Right. Is there any trash talk going on there?
Not too much.
No.
Everybody's pretty friendly. Actually, most people don't talk to you at all because they're
Scared
scared they'll give you
too.
something.
And what was the job? What did you have to do in the competition?
So you have to, like the trade out there is it's a big 3 foot by 3 foot panel, and you'll have to mount a bunch of sensors on the sidewall, and you have to wire them all neat and pretty, and then they all have to work, obviously. And you'd wire them into a panel that goes directly to a PLC, and the PLC would have probably 10 switches, 10 lights, a motor. Yeah, all connected together, and they have to work based on the program they give you.
Yeah.
And it changes. They give it to you months before. Like we'll be given the program.
Like to practice?
Yeah. And they'll change up to 30% of it for the day of. So
Okay. That sounds pretty fun. I feel like I could do that poorly.
it's very fun to try.
Slowly and probably not so pretty. Now, what's more important? Pretty or working?
That was a struggle because I have OCD and minor OCD. I think everybody does in a certain way. But yeah, I was focused more on the pretty looks of it. When in reality, it's not at all. It's got to work. It's got to work.
It's got to work. Doesn't matter how pretty the car is if it doesn't have tires, right?
You'll have a lot more complaints from people if it doesn't work versus if it's messy.
So you finished fourth, and how did you feel about that? Were you happy that you got fourth, or were you unhappy that you got fourth?
I was extremely pissed
Yeah.
with fourth place.
You expected what? First, that's what you were gunning for?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Well, my cousin was there to watch me because it was the Canada 150,
Mm-hmm.
and they'd brought an alumni back for each trade.
Oh,
And
awesome.
he
He's
picked-
yours, yeah.
He was the industrial control one then, and he got to witness firsthand my critical error that
Oh, yeah, that's right.
ruined it for me.
What happened? Do you remember the moment?
Oh, yeah. Exact moment. So I'm practicing PEI for a month to 2 months
Mm-hmm.
with the same PLC I was using. And then my trainer came in and gave me a PLC box briefcase that had the PLCs in it and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And I just, closed that, took it. Didn't take the PLC I practiced with.
Oh.
So the PLC I took was not up to date, and it wasn't, you can't update it here.
Yeah.
With no internet. So I didn't have a PLC program at all. I just had the looks, basically.
So you couldn't do anything?
No. Yeah, I just made it as pretty as I could.
Really?
Hmm.
That must have been hard to work through, knowing that.
Knowing with the last 5 hours of the day, I couldn't do anything.
Yeah, yeah. So how did you deal with that?
I don't know. I was very mad for a couple hours.
Yeah, yeah. And then what? Then start working with the other guys, seeing if you can help maybe. I don't know. Like, how did you feel the
No.
time?
You can't, I just made it clean and
Yeah,
swept up really well and tried to get the extra points where I could.
yeah.
It was enough to get fourth, which
Yeah.
is still good. Yeah.
So now the drive's in though. Now you got next year coming up. Did you leave Skills 2017 thinking I'm coming back, y'all? I'll be here next year, and I'm making no mistakes.
I said it with a tear in my eye that, yeah, I'm coming back next year.
Yeah, and you did.
Yeah.
So how did you approach that second year more?
I did the exact same amount of practice basically, but then took the PLC I played with.
Don't make the same mistake.
Yeah. Thankfully I didn't.
So now in 2018, where was that?
I was in Edmonton, Alberta.
Right, yeah. So in Edmonton, that was a big one.
That was really big too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now you're in Edmonton, beautiful city. You're
Mm.
coming there now with a chip on your shoulders, and you're showing up to compete. Was anybody from the last competition there from 2017? Was there any repeats, or were you the only
I
one?
was the only one.
So now you got a fresh batch of victims
Yeah.
that you're looking to take out, and you want to be number one. How did you feel rolling into that competition?
I was way more confident
Yeah,
second year for sure.
you've seen it all now.
I think some of them were intimidated because I came back. Usually that doesn't really repeat my trade. It's not
Yeah,
so much rollover.
yeah.
So yeah, I told myself I'm coming back, and I did. So
And how'd you do?
I came tied. I tied for second, but I came third.
Yeah,
So I came third based on a formality of how judging works.
yeah.
We had the exact same score up to 100th of a point, but since the other guy had more points in a certain aspect,
That counted more.
that
yeah.
was over.
Yeah.
That was their tiebreakers. That's fine.
And how did you feel about that now?
I'm still mad, honestly, because I made another error with there's a little light stack that's on top of the panel, and it goes red, yellow, green, and I had it flipped. It was red, green, yellow, or something like that. It was backwards.
And you just didn't notice until too late? Or?
It didn't. Everybody else did it too
No.
because it came in the box built like that.
And you're supposed to like undo
You're
it?
supposed to flip it around. And yeah, I think only 2 people that didn't actually. 10 people, 2 people did it right. So we came first and second.
Yeah. And that was the deal breaker then for sure.
Yeah. And because of the scoring system they had at the time, it was really affected the functionality.
Mm-hmm.
They're saying, okay, light 1 comes on, but light 1 is supposed to be the top light. And my top light was flipped.
Mm.
It wasn't, the red light comes on. The red light would have came on, but it wasn't in the right
In the
spot.
right spot. Yeah.
So it affected me.
So for the 10 people that got that wrong, were you guys all like, oh, come on?
Yeah. Because it came out of the box upside down. So upside down, it looked good.
Yeah. And
Did I-
for the 2 people that got it right, were they like, how did you miss that?
Yeah, pretty much. Because I was so focused on the PLC thing and
Mm.
having that, making sure that worked. That, yeah.
So now after the second go around, it's 2018. Are you done with it now? Like you don't want to go again, or are you aged out, or how does it work?
Well, actually, I qualified for Worlds
Okay.
because
yeah.
I was the top 2 youngest. The guy who won was
Cool.
way out of the age limit, and the second and third, who we actually tied 100th of a point, so it
Yeah.
was an actual tiebreaker, technically, in the next year's skills in 2019.
Okay.
We had to train that whole year.
And so did you get to go to Worlds
Yeah, I did
in
get to go.
Kazan?
Yeah, Kazan, Russia.
Yeah, I was out there too. And how'd you do?
I placed 14th, I think.
That's pretty damn good
Out
out
of 18
there.
countries. So
Yeah, that's a whole other ballgame. Worlds.
it's 10 times bigger than the transition from provincials to nationals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how'd you feel showing up there, the village, Russia, the whole spiel? How was tell us about that journey.
I love Russia. Like
It was amazing, wasn't it?
the
It was
inside the
beautiful,
country
yeah.
is great. Yeah.
Yeah. Politically, that's another
It's
story.
a whole different story.
But
yeah.
Kazan as a city, magnificent. The
Yeah.
architecture, the roads, the people, the food. Oh my God,
The
so
food was
good.
good. Yeah.
Yeah. What was your most memorable moment of being in Kazan?
The team being with everybody and
Like the PEI team or the Team
Team
Canada?
Canada.
Yeah.
Yeah. Team Canada. We're all on the same level. We're all here to have fun.
Yeah. Yeah.
Try to beat some people.
Yeah, well, and like I
Mhm.
made great friends out there, even like within Team Canada.
Yeah.
Or Courtney Donovan from out in the East
Yeah, I'm
Coast.
friends
She's
with Courtney.
fantastic.
Yeah.
And she's such a go-getter. She's doing so good now, and she just had a baby.
Yeah, she did.
Yeah, so she's doing
She'd
great.
be here otherwise.
Yeah, 100%. I was gonna say she would be here if it wasn't for that baby, and I'm sure she'll be here next year or wherever it is, right?
Oh yeah, she's not giving it up.
No, and she's like the head of skills.
She's the ED for New Brunswick. Yeah.
That's right, for New Brunswick.
Yeah.
So like she's on, and like I mean, I went there with Adam Sebastian. I don't know if you remember
Yeah.
him, but he was my welder, and so like it was such a crazy experience, and we did so well. We really did. As a
Yeah.
country, did so well.
It was I couldn't even fathom the size of it. We had to walk through that main area where that diamond was. It was
Mhm.
incredible seeing 60,000 people looking at you.
Yeah, yeah. And then the buildings, like they built a city for this.
The tents, yeah, like
Yeah.
now tents is kind of an insult for them, but they were canvas walled and roofed, but they were
Solid somehow.
6 feet off the ground, air conditioned
Yeah, yeah.
buildings.
Yeah, I know it was amazing. And then the translators and all the people working there and everything went so smoothly.
Oh yeah,
I didn't have any issues with anything.
No, they were very professional.
Yeah, yeah. Now, coming back from Russia, did you feel like this is the end of your skills journey? You've gone to the top, you've done worlds, you've seen kind of all there is to see. Now, are you done with skills? Wash your hands, move on with the rest of your life? What were you thinking?
Yeah, I was probably retiring from competing at the time.
Yeah.
I was just I'm done. The resume is good enough. But yeah.
But here you are.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna stay around with either alumni or even NTC position. I think I'll be offered that
Yeah, yeah.
soon. But yeah,
And is this like why? Why would you want to stay on? Why do you want to be a part of skills as a non-competitor?
it's a skills family, really. It's
Yeah.
everybody here is so friendly. Everybody's on the same page. We're all similar likes and wants, and everybody wants to see everybody do well. So I love seeing that, coming here and getting to see everybody again.
Yeah.
Fun.
Who's your favorite person?
I have too many.
Good answer. Good answer. It wasn't me, so I don't know. I guess I've been to like 3 of the same things you've been to, and I don't feel like we've met before. So,
No, actually, I haven't.
which is interesting because I've been to all of them, and you coming back now, and now you're a part of the skills family. We've had lots of guests come on here over the last few months, and everyone's been talking about the skills family, and I understand that skills family because I've been through a journey of it. But I almost feel like every person, I'm not even talking trades, like every person in Canada should attend a national skills conference like this at some point in their life. Like they should realize what's happening. People don't know that these things are happening right under their nose. And it's like, oh yeah, you have a skills competition. Is it like a big deal? It's like, yo, I think it's bigger than the Olympics. Like, I mean, there is thousands, and like with the high schools today, there's going to be almost 20,000 people through here. Like
That's the biggest
nuts.
one they've ever had.
Yeah, well,
I
they're saying 13,000 students over the next 2 days, plus all the competitors, secondary, post-secondary instructors.
Yeah.
It's massive. Like, and it's every bar you go to in Winnipeg, skills. Every venue you go to, skills.
Taking over the city.
Yeah, it's like the city's ours right now.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
It's really cool to see. Yeah.
So what would you tell someone if they asked you about skills? What do you say to them when someone on the street's like, they're like a lawyer or something, just something not trades, and they're like, "What's the skills thing that you do?" What do you explain to them?
I say something different almost every time, but I try to stay it similar. It's a apprentice and student based competition that hosts 45 different skills and trades and technologies that people from each province compete and see who's the top of the country, basically.
And then what? And then they ask you, and then what?
That's really cool. I'd probably say. I mean,
Yeah,
it is.
because it's
But
like
just,
Olympic athlete. Like,
yeah,
okay, if I'm going for the gold medal in long jump and I win long jump, what now? What happens? What do you do after you win a medal? Where do you go? What's the next step?
yeah, add it to the resume, and most likely you'll get a job either offered here or the second you get back. Because
Mm-hmm.
once it hits the newspaper or Facebook, because that can travel fast.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, your name gets around quickly. I think a lot of people know my name at Holland College now in PEI.
Yeah. So how does that work for you professionally? What do you do now? What is your job?
It's kind of a complicated job, but I work in still based in PEI. We have it's a oil and gas industry company starting to move towards solar, but we mostly do propulsion and alarm systems for drill ships and
Okay.
hybrid ferries. Yeah, we do everything in the ship from the alarm system to the turning of the propellers,
Mm-hmm.
basically. And there's a bunch of battery systems involved in it to make them hybrid, just like a really big Prius on the water,
Yeah.
basically.
And what's your role there? What do you do?
I'm an automation and control specialist, so I basically have the screwdrivers in the car, and I'm just using my laptop basically to work with everything together.
So you're going in, making sure things are running, or do they call you after it's not running and they're like, "Uh-oh, broken."
A little bit of both.
Yeah.
We do a lot of service calls, but mostly we're straight up first time commissioning the ship. So it's a brand new ship that's just built. It has nothing working in it. They put a team of 10 or 12 of us together, and
Mm-hmm. Outfit it out.
yeah, 3 or 4 months, the ship's ready
Wow.
to go.
And how complex are those systems?
Extremely complex.
Yeah. Are you ever at work being like, I don't know what the heck I've gotten myself into?
Most of the time. I'm saying that.
Oh
Like,
man. So, for someone that's looking at this type of work, what are the normal jobs that are out there? Like, I mean, yours is pretty niche,
mhm.
but maybe it's not. Like what for the people that take this trade, what are the jobs they can expect to look for?
Well, my job, yeah, is pretty unique in a way. Like, there's not much people that
Mm-hmm.
automate ships and solar systems, I guess, too. But I can't think of much other jobs related to it. Obviously, there's controls and system companies all over Canada
Yeah.
that focus on making those car washes, making the conveyor belt systems for the Cavendish Farms is in
Mm-hmm.
PEI. That's a lot of automation involved. Um,
Manufacturing
anything
companies.
anything to
Yeah.
do with manufacturing things
Yeah.
is usually automation controlled, especially even self checkouts at superstores and
Yeah.
grocery stores. Yeah.
I mean, I've looked at some of like hydroponic setups,
Hmm.
water setups. They're all automated now with sensors.
Everything is. Yeah.
So, explain to me, the people that listen, the difference between mechanical and automation. Like, if I have a water tap and a motor and a hose, I can make a pump, and
Hmm.
I can have an on-off lever that makes this go to there, or a switch.
Yeah.
Now, what's different than what you do? How would you set that up to make it a completely automated thing?
I don't even know how to answer that, to be honest with you. But
You would need some type of sensor,
yeah,
some
you
type of
need,
input, like,
yeah, you definitely need a PLC. That's where it all starts. That's
yeah.
the brain of it all. Then you'll need the wires and the sensors and everything required to make that system work correctly and safely
Hmm.
too, because we're scared the robots might take over someday, so we got to be careful.
I've seen robot accidents, and that's early in robot days. I
when
don't
the
think those accidents happen today, but robot accidents are scary
when the
because they don't
code
know.
when the code goes wrong. Yeah.
Yeah, they don't know. Like, they'll just punch right through whatever. They have no idea,
No,
right? Like,
no, not at all.
now, okay.
Yeah.
In terms of your skills journey now, here at working today, what
Hmm.
did you have to? What are you covering? What's your role with the NAC? What's your role here with skills?
So it's more or less to promote the experiences that we had is to either talk with delegates and sponsors, and as well as students, visitors, and and other alumni to share your experiences and give some tips and tricks to make yourself better if you come back here, or if you want some tricks and tips for tonight, even between the days. Yeah, we're here for that.
Just to support the team.
We're here to talk and chill
And how much do they lean on you guys?
a fair bit. It's getting better.
Yeah.
They're more and more using us, and
they should be, right?
yeah,
Like you're the resource.
definitely. Yeah, we got the tricks for you.
Yeah. And then what about, like, what else are you looking to do in terms of skills? Like you said, hey, if they offered you a job, you'd take it. Like what
Yeah.
would you look at as being something that you could offer to skills?
Well, now that I got my red seal, which I did a few months ago, that
Mhm.
I can become an NTC, the National Technical Committee, for my trade 19, and I think the one that's there now for PEI he's trying to slow himself down and get out of it.
It's like right the sweet spot for you to slide in.
I think so. Yeah,
That'd be pretty exciting.
it would.
Now, is that still a volunteer position?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Now, would you ever want to work for like skills, paid position?
All depends on.
I mean, you wouldn't be
money-wise.
able to work on cool hybrid boats anymore.
No,
That sounds pretty fly.
that's a hard decision I have to make someday. If that came by,
Yeah.
but right now I'm pretty happy where I'm working.
And what about like your career in terms of, when you started, like you're fresh out of high school
Mhm.
and then to today, what kind of things have you had to really learn about yourself? Things that you had to work on to succeed at skills, well, first fail at skills, really,
Yeah.
and then succeed and work your way forward into worlds. What are the things that you had to learn to be like, okay, I got to work on this about me to succeed?
Almost everything.
Yeah.
I was kind of a very shy, almost illiterate kid
Yeah.
that didn't know too much about things, but over the years of constantly practicing and being able to communicate with other people, I learned a lot of communication skills.
Yeah.
How to talk and not be completely scared all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Learned a lot of problem solving skills, how to deal with a problem at the time and get around it, either ignore it or quickly resolve it.
And if you ignore it, that's a bigger problem later.
Sometimes, yeah. Sometimes it's not worth even thinking or worrying about. You can just
Yeah.
skip it,
Yeah.
carry on. I learned a lot of tips and tricks, obviously, of my own trade, being
Yeah.
able to use my hands better and be faster at things.
Time management. Yeah.
Time management is probably one of my biggest things too, and how fast I can get something done and think about the next thing to
Yeah.
do.
Get the next step lined up in your head and organized.
Yeah, pretty much.
But, in the interviews that we've had over the last few months with all the NAC, I bet you 80% of the people sitting in your chair have said communication
Yeah.
has been one of the things that they've all had to work on the most, and learning to communicate, learning how to talk and listen,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
to other people, because so often you just hyper focus on yourself and
Yeah.
and you don't let others in, right?
I know exactly what you feel. Yeah. Pretty much
Bang
communication.
on.
Yeah.
And kind of to kind of close out the segment, what would you feel would be the advice then that you would give to let's say some shy kid coming out of grade 12 who is kind of techie, likes this kind of stuff, but doesn't really know where to start, is interested, but doesn't know what to do. From where you are today with your experience, what advice would you give them? What would you say? Like, this is how you start, this is where you go, this is what you need, or this is what you need inside.
Yeah. It's a lot to take in, but yeah,
Mhm.
it's to go for it. Don't think about it too hard. Just and attend a Skills Canada national competition and try those trades and look at all these kids that are doing these things they probably didn't think they could do. And and try to find a trade. There's going to be something, especially if you're good with your hands.
Mhm.
You can find something here for sure. And practice, and stop thinking about what other people are trying to say, because
It doesn't
it doesn't matter. And it can also motivate you like it did me. Yeah.
It sounds like you motivate yourself more than anything.
Yeah. Try a bit of both.
Awesome, man. Well, is there anything you'd like to say to the public? Any shout outs to anybody, teachers, mentors, people out there that you wish to say hello to?
Well, everybody, obviously all my family and friends that stood by me and helped me, and a couple trainers back at home and here. There's a few that I'm very close with here. John Daly, who just got his the John Oates Memorial
Mhm.
Award. He helped me a lot training for Worlds, and Scott Zwicker, who's the other NTC here from PEI. Yeah, I could go on forever. People around here. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for coming on the show. Hope this has been all right. You enjoyed it?
Yeah, awesome.
Cool, man. Well, I really appreciate it. And thank you so much to all the people who have been following along. Here we have Robbie McMahon, who's been working here at Skills all week. And for the rest of the week, we're not done yet. We still got a few days left, and we'll get our steps in over the next couple days. And he's from PEI. He's automation and control specialist. And for all the people that have been listening to the episodes, keep downloading them. Check them all out. This is part of a larger series. And then make sure you keep checking in and putting comments on what you listen to, because we want to know what you think. Thank you very much, and stay tuned for the next one.
We hope you enjoyed the show.